Assalamu alaikum students. Hope you are safe and sound. We are going to have a description on grammatical syllabus and syllabus, as you know this, an integrated course of academic studies. So while describing this course of studies, we are going to describe this just like entanglement in lieu of the grammatical structures. So first of all, we are going to describe about briefly what the syllabus is, as we know that in the field of education, the word curriculum and syllabus is interchangeably used as synonyms by different scholars. But nowadays, a clearer distinction is made and they come up with a closer and the common view as the term curriculum is a very general concept than that of a syllabus. Syllabus is an integral part of curriculum, but not the vice versa. As Richards and Noonan, they are the linguist, they related the concept of the syllabus as a very confined and specific one to be implemented at class level, in which both teachers and students are main actors of the overall program. So, a grammatical syllabus is based on the structures of a language. It can be compared to other types of syllabi based around tasks, vocabulary, functions, or topics. So the learners learn grammatical structures in a sequence that reflects their complexity rather than their use in communication, so leading to many artificial contexts for practice and perhaps an ability to transfer learning to real communication. Organizing learning around a grammatical syllabus has been criticized because of this, but it is still the most common type of syllabus in published materials. So, mostly because it is the easiest type of syllabus to sequence. Introduction. The grammatical description of a language specifies the ways in which sentences of that language are constructed. It gives the rules of sentence structure. Number two, the grammatical rules are the descriptions of the regular ways in which speakers of a particular language or language variety construct the sentences in that language. As we know that the grammatical syllabus is also known as a structural syllabus and is the most common and the traditional syllabus type. It has been in use by language teachers for many years. It is a product-oriented, content-based syllabus, and the focus is on knowledge and skills which learners should gain as a result of instruction. So most grammatical syllabus seems to be that language consists of finite set of rules, and these rules can be learned one by one in an additive fashion. So as just like as described over here, it gives the rules of the sentence structure. As we know that the language is a system which consists of a set of the grammatical rules. Learning a language means learning these rules and then applying them to the practical language use. Second point is the grammatical rules are the description of the regular ways in which speaker of a particular language or the language variety construct the sentences in that language. So we can see that here the focus is on the knowledge and the skills which learners should gain as a result of instruction. The synthetic teaching strategy is essential to produce such a syllabus. The structural syllabus happens to be the best known example of synthetic syllabus. As Wilkin says, a synthetic language teaching strategy is one in which the different parts of a language are taught separately and step by step, so that acquisition is a process of the gradual accumulation of the parts until the whole structure of the language has been built up. Richard and Rogers show a structural view of language, which is that language is a system of structurally related elements for the coding of meanings. Number two, language is patterned simultaneously on two levels, sound and syntax. And number three, it endeavors to create language competence. The first point, the elaboration, the first point is going to be just like given the detail of the first point is there. The Richard and Rogers show a structural view of the language, and according to them, the language is a system of structurally related elements for the coding of meanings. So coding of meaning means that just like we whatever the vocabulary items or the rules and whatever the structure just like to be imparted to the students for the teaching perspective and for teaching learning perspective. So they must understand these rules and then applying them into just like coming out of their classroom situation. So it is said that so the grammatical syllabus is to be based on the structural view of the language. The structural view of the language concentrates on the grammatical system describing ways in which linguistic items can be combined. So they are combined in order to create the certain meanings. So unless and until the structure is to be added with that of the semantics, so no rule is to be learned and no rule can be applied into the just like the social perspective in the social perspective of the society. So whatever we are learning in the artificial environment in our classroom, this is one of the academic just like the description, and out of this academic description we have to apply these rules whatever we have learned in the classroom into the just like the outer situation in our societal makeup. So number two, the language is patterned simultaneously on two levels, sound and syntax. So two levels is sound and syntax, which are the phonetics and that of the syntax. Here the sound is to be related with the various characteristics of the sounds and the whatever the pronunciation we are uttering, and this also relate the recognition of the letters and just like the sound of the particular letters. So after uttering the sound of the particular letters, we are just trying to combine these sounds to make the one particular word, and then these letters are to be combined to form the words, and these words are to be combined to form the sentences. And sentences, the organization of the sentences in a particular order is to be called as a syntax. So it's mean that sound and syntax has a close correlation, and we have to put the parts of the speech in an ordering form in a sentence. So it is also just like said that according to the structuralist point of view, intuitive language and of the multitude of the other linguistic facts and operations make up a native speaker's linguistic competence. And this is shows that it endeavors to create language competence and enables the learners to produce new sentences to match the meanings that one needs to express. So in spite of its usage as a reference of the accurate production of the sentences, so language is used as a means of communication, which is its function. So there must be, that is, if competency we are gaining in our classroom and our teachers are making endeavors in order to create the certain competence, certain knowledge of the grammatical rules or that of the language. So our performance or the functions of the language is the most just like the fruitful outcome of this competence. Unless and until that is we are not performing certain functions, so our competence is of no use. Grammatical syllabus is also known as structural syllabus, formal syllabus, traditional syllabus, and syntactic syllabus. These are the various names given to the grammatical syllabus. Traditional categories. Traditional categories include number, person, tense, voice, and gender. These categories can be discussed in isolation, but their role in language description would be cleared in terms of agreement. For example, in a sentence, the boy likes his dog. Usually, when it is said for, that is, in addition to the terms used for the parts of speech, traditional grammatical analysis also give us a number of the categories. And we know, for example, when we say that the verb like agrees with the noun boy in a sentence. So agreement show that is whatever the part of the speech we are using in a sentence. So the one part of the speech agree the existence of another part. Like when the example is before us, the boy likes his dog. Here the boy is a subject of the noun and the likes is used now because furthermore we are going to describe these categories. So first of all, take this example. As the boy, we are liable to use likes with the boy now in the present tense because boy is a third person singular, and according to the rule with the third person singulars we have to add s or es with the first form of the verb. So the boy like this shows the agreement between the noun and that of the verb. So agreement is partially based on the category of number, so whether the noun is singular or plural. So here this shows the agreement on the part that is the boy is a single and is a third person singular. That's why we have to add s with a like in case of the first form of the verb. It is also based on the category of person, which covers the distinction of first person, second person, and third person. So the different forms of English pronouns, terms of the person and number. In that we have first person singular I, second person singular you, third person singular he, she, or it. So the just like again takes the example, the boy likes his dog. We have a noun boy, which is third person singular, and the verb likes agrees with the noun. So tense is another category that is described in the form of the verb. The verb likes is in present tense, which can be distinguished from the past tense. Okay, with that is in a present tense we have to use the first form of the verb. So in case of the third person singulars we have to add s with the likes. But it is to be distinguished from the past tense, as in case of the past tense we have to use the second form of the verb, so which is liked. So in this case the example would be that the boy liked his dog. The sentence is also in active voice, which is to be distinguished from the passive voice, as in case of active voice it is written the boy likes his dog, and in case of the passive voice we can transform this active voice narration into the passive voice in a way the boy is liked by his dog. Introduction. The grammatical description of a language specifies the ways in which sentences of that language are constructed. It gives the rules of sentence structure. Number 2, the grammatical rules are the descriptions of the regular ways in which speakers of a particular language or language variety construct the sentences in that language. As we know that the grammatical syllabus is also known as a structural syllabus and is the most common and the traditional syllabus type. It has been in use by structural syllabus. Structural syllabus proceeds from simple grammatical structure to more complex grammatical structure. That is present progressive, comparative, simple past, past progressive. That is the procedure of constructing this structural syllabus is that is we have to start and we have to take a start from the simple grammatical categories, and now we are heading towards the more complex ones one by one. So as grammatical syllabus, so may start with the present simple, so then the present continuous, then the past simple, and so on. So learners are not usually exposed to more difficult sentences or the structures than the ones they are learning. In a classroom, teachers may find it useful to blend a grammatical syllabus with other elements. For example, it may be suitable to teach verb times explicitly, but structures and the use of the would and the request and advice in a functional framework instead. So the teacher makes certain techniques. So it is up to the teachers to use the various techniques while living within the framework of the various structures, or while living within the framework of the various rules in order to enhance the process of the learning. The teacher may use the various techniques in order to make the students understandable about the various concepts. It's one in which grammatical structures form the central organizing characteristics, focus on the knowledge and skills which learners should gain as a result of instruction. Its main concern is to investigate the distribution of forms, the morphemes in a language. So, the grammatical structures from the central organizing characteristics, obviously, that is, if the students are to be taught through the grammatical syllabus, that is, the main focus is on the grammar. So, first of all, the students are to make, while teaching the other subjects, that is, how to focus and how to make their language accurate. And for the sake of the accuracy, they have to learn the certain rules and applying them into the various situations. So language rules are learned in a linear fashion, and learners should demonstrate complete mastery of the one rule before moving on to the next. Obviously, that is, the students are liable, or just like they are forced just to learn the first rule, and without having the mastery of the one rule, they are not just like allowed to go to the another one. So in this case, that is a certain test and the just like examination the students are to be taken in order to know their knowledge of that language, and on account of their knowledge they are to be promoted to other classes and they are promoted to the next section. So we can say that its main concern is to investigate the distribution of the forms in a language. So grammatical syllabus generally consists of the two components. There is a list of the linguistic structures, that is the grammar to be taught, and a list of the words, that is the lexicon to be taught. So very often the items are on each list are arranged in order, showing which are to be taught in the first course, which in the second, and so on. The criteria for sequencing are various. The teacher regards the items from the point of view of the levels of the stages, that is beginning, intermediate, advanced, or the grades, that is 1 to 3 and etc. And just like whole of our knowledge, and it is to be distributed in order to gain the various perspective, that is how the different sentences are formed according to the different perspective, and how morphemes are used, which is basically the unit of the structure, that is in a morphology. The structural syllabus is a key to teach in all kinds of language in which people can absorb and assimilate information. The grammatical syllabus is one of the most common types of syllabus still today. Grammar makes up the core. Grammar makes up the core of the syllabus. Learning a language means learning to master the grammar rules of the target language. It is also expected that the students will learn adequate basic vocabulary. The teacher, just like the grammatical syllabus is one of the most common types of the syllabus still today, because it is the only way to teach the students of the correct, just like the rules and the regulations, how to make the sentences and how to make these sentences out of, just like while making these sentences they are to be interconnected with the steps of making the connected speech and the connected writing, just like in the various steps and the various activities to be done on the parts of the students, like the paragraph writing, essay writing, letter writing. These are the various categories. The students are just like giving the exemplary situations in the classrooms, and they are to be just like to abide by the various techniques and activities to done in order to entail their writing activities. So the teacher is following the syllabus may use either the audiolingual method or the grammar translation method, or a combination of the two, or an eclectic approach. The content of the syllabus is determined by giving top priority to teaching the grammar and the structure of the language. Examples include, that is, nouns, verbs, adjectives, statements, questions, phrases, clauses. So these are the various examples of the parts of the speech, that is how the noun, that is teaching of the nouns to be correlated, and the verb, the adjective, the statements, how the statements are formed, the questions, how the questions can be formed while out of the statements, and then the phrases and the clauses, differentiation between these concepts. So the structures are always taught within sentences, and vocabulary is chosen according to how, just like well, it enables sentence patterns to be taught. Courses will consist of the list of the sentences patterns, like this is just like if at the very initial level for the beginners, that is we are giving the specific structures like this is and it is, and now the students are to be provided with a lot of the vocabularies, and they are just like to instructed to use this vocabulary one by one in a structure. Like if we have the students have vocabulary, a book or a bag, and it is to be narrated in a way, this is a bag, this is a book. So while having the simple structures, they are able to construct the simple sentences while using the different forms of the vocabulary. And in this way, if just first of all, the students are to be show the cognizance with the nouns and the verbs, what are the verbs and what are the nouns and the adjectives. So different with the definitions and with the certain exemplary situations, the students are to be given the specific knowledge of that, the nouns, the verbs, adjectives, and what are the statements, and how the statements are to be converted into the sentences, and into the negatives and into the questions, and then the what are the phrases and what are the clauses. So these are the very just like after having the concept of the noun, this is the first step. Now the students are like heading towards what are the phrases and the clauses, and they are to be just like imbibed by the certain situations in order to use these situations in their speech and in their writing in order to perfect their and accurate their writing and their spoken perspective. Theoretical basis. Language is a system which consists of the set of grammatical rules. Learning language means learning these rules and applying them to practical language use. So again, that is, it is to be defined elsewhere else, and that is language as a system which to be consisted of a set of the grammatical rules. The syllabus input is selected and graded according to the grammatical notions and of simplicity and complexity. That is, if they are learning the rules, now the learning the rules has a gradation, that is they are to be starting from the very simple notions and now they are heading towards the complex situations. Now first they have the mastery of the use of the simpler situations, and now they are just like heading towards the complex one, and these are the language learning rules that is there, and they are applying them to the practical language use. That is, the competence is not enough they are going to have the performance as well. And developing from the work of Noam Chomsky, attempts have been made to produce such a kind of grammatical syllabus resulting in well-formed sentences from the combinations of the basic elements. That is, students are able to form the well-formed sentences, that is having all the perspective of which are necessary in order to make the correct sentence. That is, they have now, that is previously they have gained the knowledge of the nouns, the verbs, adjectives, statements, and other things, and now they are able to put these parts of the speech in a specific order in a sentence. And this only comes with the combination of the basic elements, and these basic elements, these are their nouns, the verb, they have taken the knowledge just like from the very beginning. And it is said that this syllabus introduced one item at a time and require mastery of that item before moving on to the next one. So this type of the syllabus maintains that it is easier for students to learn a language if they are exposed to one part of the grammatical system at a time. The content of the syllabus is determined by giving priority to teaching the grammar or structure of the target language. Grammar makes up the core of the syllabus. Whatever rules are followed, learning a language means learning to master the grammatical rules of the target language. So as far as the content of the syllabus is concerned, it is to be determined by just like the teaching the grammar or the structure of the target rules. That is, basically the content is to be just like having its roots in the grammar and the structure of the target language. That is, learning the basic rules. That is, we are starting from the basic rules while taking up the certain examples, and now applying these rules and examples in order to create the new sentences. So if the students are to be taught through the audiolingual approach or the grammar translation approach, the various sentences, In case, first take the example of the audiolingual approach, that is the students are just like they are moving from having learned the simple dialogues, and they are now moving towards having learned the more of the difficult dialogues. So while moving from simpler to the complex one, they are gaining the structure one by one. So the content of the syllabus is determined by giving the top priority to teaching the grammar or the structure of the target language. So these, just like the content is based on the linguistic structures, that is the grammar to be taught, and the list of the words, the lexicons. Linguistic structures, that is they are giving the specific structures in cases of the tenses, as we just like teach students in the GTM, an audiolingual approach, that is through the GTM, that is a perfection from the part of the teacher. The perfection is to be laid on just like learning the rules of the grammar in case of the tenses, and in case of translating their mother tongue into the target language. These are the various aspects. But in the audiolingual approach, as the name indicates, that is the students learn the rules of the language both on the auditory and the linguistic basis. That is, they are listening and speaking at the same time, and they are just like listening what they are listening the various dialogues, and dialogues are to be recorded by their teachers, or just like in a live situation, that a teacher may speak that dialogues to the students, and they are learning these rules out of these structures. That is the structure to be embedded in the rules, or in that sentences, particular sentences to be spoken before the students. They are the hallmark, and they are the roots to provide them the whole of the building to be laid upon all these roots. And it is said that these are the linguistic structures, and we have taken the various examples, just like if I take the example again, the boy likes his jokes. In this case, that is the structure, the simple structure is to be taught to the students. That is how the noun and the noun phrases are used, how the subject and the predicate has to be distinguished, and how with the first form of the verb, that is we have to add the s or es in case of the third person singulars, and so on. And second one is a list of the words, that is list of the word that these are the vocabulary and the lexicons. And while providing the students with the simple structures like this is and that is and it is, that is, and they also be provided with that of that is a various number of the vocabulary items, and these vocabulary items are not so difficult, na? That is, these are the various items that is the students can watch and observe in their surroundings, and they can apply these vocabulary items very easily to these structures. So in this way we are starting from the very simple one, and now we are heading towards a complex one. So the grammar makes it the core of the syllabus, obviously, and whatever rules are followed. Learning a language means learning to master the grammatical rules. Obviously, that is, if we have want to the mastery of the grammatical rules, we have to learn these rules one by one, and just like starting from the simple and heading towards the complex one. Procedures. So how this grammatical syllabus is to be get into operation? First, in the initial stage of teaching, the linguistic components of the type of performance is desired and analyzed. Next, the language is broken down into small grammatical components and presented in a strictly controlled sequence. So initial stage of the teaching is the linguistic components, and that is very earlier stage. The students are just like to take the recognition with that of the letters. While taking up the recognition with that of the letters, they are making the sounds out of these letters. And the phonic teaching approach is the best example in this case. That is, while taking up the phonics of that letters, the students are very much prone to just like utter the sounds of the specific letters, and now they are in a syntactic way, and in order to make the words and the as per the technical definition of the morphemes, now they are putting these letters in a specific order in a word in order to make the meaningful word. So this is the first stage. The sequence is arranged in accordance with increasing complexity, from simple grammatical structure to more complex grammatical structures. So the learners are exposed at one time to the limited sample of the target language. The teacher moves progressively through the syllabus until theoretically all structures of the target language have been taught. The learner's job is to resynthesize language that has been taken apart and presented to him in small parts. So this synthesis only takes place in the final stage of learning. So this synthesis only takes place in the final stage of the learning. Firstly, they are just like taking the parts of the knowledge. Na? They are taking one by one that these rules, and they are just like making up their mind how to combine these various perspectives in order to make the whole. So now next the language is broken down into small grammatical components and presented in a strictly controlled sequence, and this happens in a so-called advanced stage. The learner is expected to master each structural step and add it to his or her grammar collection, motivate the student. In this way, while this mode of the teaching and this mode of the syllabus motivates the students, so when the students learn how to just like construct the sentences, once they have gained the mastery, or when they have to be successful in making up the sentence structure easily, so they are to be motivated intrinsically, and they just like get the motivation also from the extrinsic situation, from their teachers, from their parents, and from their surroundings. The various perspective are to be there, so this creates the motivation. So motivation is the thing that is which enables the students to move step by step and just like to go towards the advanced stage. So make emphasizes that every person can learn it, and it is only motivation that makes them better every day. Obviously, if there is no motivation, there would be no emphasis and there would be no construction. So it is up to the teachers and their parents and their surroundings, whatever the stakeholders are in this sense, that is the motivation makes the students to be better in their construction and to be better in their language competence and their performance. Assalamu alaikum students. Hope you are safe and sound. Disadvantages: if grammatical syllabus is to be just like given the positive points, that to be given the positive view from the side of the linguist, it also to be criticized from the side of the linguists and also from the researchers. That is, it has a disadvantages also. Number one, the potential disadvantage of the structural syllabus is that it overemphasizes language structure and neglects communicative competence. The first point is, it doesn't address the immediate communicative needs of the learners who are learning a language within the context of their community, the way the language is spoken. That is, they are given the certain mastery over to form the well-formed grammatical structures of the syntaxes. But still they are to be interacted with the forming the grammatical structures. They are not inclined and they are not to be encouraged by their teachers, and they are not given the certain situations just to use this their competence to just like to generalize them into their social just like societal setup. Na? Just like if they have learned certain things, the academic perspective, if they are not able to apply these rules or they are not able to generalize these rules just like into the society, so their all of the knowledge and their whole of the competence is of no use. And in this case, in fact, the socio-linguistic aspects of the communicative competence are not in focus at all in a strictly structural syllabus. It is therefore more useful in a context where the language learner doesn't have immediate communication needs. So this type of the syllabus, according to the various researchers, is useful only where the competence is to be allowed and only the competence is to be followed, and no, this competence is not to be just like melted in that of their performance, and they only just like need a very just like how to form the well formed sentences, and just like they only know how to uh, perform the writing well and how to understand the text to be written before them, and it hampers the students creative sides. Obviously, when the students are not to be given with the creative activities, and if the students are not to be given the chances just to like the just to do the creative activities both in the written and the spoken perspective, so this kind of the stagnant knowledge is not useful for the students. Like if they only learn to read the text to be given to them, and they are only to be generalized with the just like the dialogues to be spoken before them in the case of the audiolingual approach, so this is only their knowledge remains stagnant over here. It doesn't have the motivation from the interesting and the experiencing side, that is to learn and just to create the more of the sentences and more of the literary terms and or the linguistic expressions in case of the writing and the spoken perspective. And we can say that it also confines the mirror within the walls of the some specific rules. Here the role of the students is passive. Obviously, each and everything is to be provided from the teacher, and the student's role is passive, and they are just prone to learn the specific roles or the rules. Meaning of the words and sentences is taught in isolation within the particular grammatical form. So since it is the teacher who is deciding what to teach, in which stage, it is thus a teacher dominated syllabus. The content of the syllabus is determined by giving priority to teaching the grammar or structure of the target language. Grammar makes up the core of the syllabus. Whatever rules are followed, learning a language means learning to master the grammatical rules of the target language. So as far as the content of the syllabus is concerned, it is to be determined by just like the teaching the grammar or the structure of the target rules. That is basically the content is to be just like having its roots in the grammar and the structure of the target language. That is learning the basic rules. That is, we are starting from the basic rules while taking up the certain examples, and now applying these rules and examples in order to create the new sentences. So if the students are to be taught through the audiolingual approach or the grammar translation approach, the various sentences, in case first take the example of the audiolingual approach, that is the students are just like they are moving from having learned the simple dialogues, and they are now moving towards having learned the more of the difficult dialogues. So while moving from simpler to the complex one, they are gaining the structure one by one. So the content of the syllabus is determined by giving the top priority to teaching the grammar or the structure of the target language. So these, just like the content is based on the linguistic structures, that is the grammar to be taught and the list of the words, the lexicons. Linguistic structures, that is they are giving the specific structures in cases of the tenses, as we just like teach students in the GTM, an audiolingual approach, that is through the GTM, that is the perfection from the part of the teacher. The perfection is to be laid on just like learning the rules of the grammar in case of the tenses, and in case of translating their mother tongue into the target language. These are the various aspects. But in the audiolingual approach, as the name indicates, that is the students learn the rules of the language both on the auditory and the linguistic basis. That is, they are listening and speaking at the same time, and they are just like listening what they are listening the various dialogues, and dialogues are to be recorded by their teachers, or just like in a live situation, the teacher may speak that dialogues to the students, and they are learning these rules out of these structures. That is the structure to be embedded in the rules, or in that sentences, particular sentences to be spoken before the students. They are the hallmark and they are the roots to provide them the whole of the building to be laid upon all these roots. And it is said that these are the linguistic structures, and we have taken the various examples, just like if I take the example again, the boy likes his dogs. In this case, that is a structure, the simple structure is to be taught to the student, that is how the noun and the, these are the various references. That is, I have taken a whole of my narration from that references, and I think that these sources are useful for me and will useful for the students as well, and make the students that is enables the students just to make the more of the chances to be creative in their fields while having the linguistic expression. So that's all, and thank you very much.